Welcome back. I'm Carter Eckl. Bob's Ballers know who their opponent is in the first round of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. The only downside is it's the same team that has beaten them twice already this season. First up, Savannah Joe Dorsey's domination of the opposition in the batter's box continued earlier today. Dorsey was 1 out away from throwing her second perfect game in as many years when Taylor Shuey homered over the center field wall.
How is DeSales able to put up enough points to take this game?
Well, that Iron Curtain defense has been nothing short of astounding this year, Nathan, but they were seriously hampered by the big play tonight. Every scoring drive the Stallions put together had at least one play of 25-plus yards. They won the coin toss, chose to get their offense rolling, and that's exactly what they did. Matthew Colvin here, 4 plays into the game, number 32, right up the middle, 37 yards into the end zone, 7-0 Belpre within the first 3 minutes of the first quarter, and they're not done there. Dejon Bedgood on Belpre's next offensive series, 11 yards up the gut, first down into Wahama territory, and you know what? Let's let Tavian Miller go to the air after establishing with the ground attack. 6 for 6, David Tyree style. Dejon Bedgood comes down with it on his helmet. He knows it's a good catch.
Hello everybody, I'm here with Ohio field hockey goalie Brittany Walker and head coach Neil McMillan. And today we're going to do some goalkeeping 101. As you can see, I'm already suited up, so let's get to it. Walters moved on convincingly, and as the 7 seed got a lot of help in the process. Multiple top seeds have fallen in his path, but that hasn't changed Walters' mindset. After his match, he spoke with a WAB reporter and said, "I don't care if they are the 1 seed or if this is their first tournament, they are standing in the way of my dreams."
They've had a tough start to the season offensively. How did they fare tonight?
Well, the Falcons' triple threat backfield gave the Aces fits as Fairfield Union was able to rush for almost 280 yards on the ground. Braden Heston, Nick Schultz, and Will Young paved the way for the Falcons as all 3 backs were able to make significant contributions. Right back to the man himself, Derek Rafferty, 15 yards down to the 8-yard line, setting up the Ironman in the red zone, where Hunter Sexton's going to make a little bread and roll right into your kitchen over a Stallion defenseman, 7-0 Jackson midway through the first quarter. Now that drive took 6 minutes. DeSales' drive took 2 plays. Jake Gilmore, 68 yards to the house, 7-7 game midway through the first quarter. Well, Belpre was able to force 2 interceptions in the first half, one from Trent McCoy and the other from who else but Dejon Bedgood. The Golden Eagles were able to plug Wahama's running lanes, forcing the White Falcons to continue to run into a wall or to try and go over the top. I talked to Coach Barr before the game, and he stressed the importance of the White Falcons' ability to avoid mental miscues. However, Belpre's ball hawking defense forced a few big ones.
Well, something else we don't talk nearly enough about is special teams. That third phase of the game was key tonight.
It absolutely was. Special teams was the key that opened the door early for both teams. The Fighting Tigers shanked their first punt, giving Jackson possession 40 yards away from the end zone, which obviously they capitalized on. And Jake Arrieta and the Cubs made it a night to remember. The 30-year-old threw his second no-hitter in his last 9 starts, the 3rd shortest span between such feats. And I mean, Michael, take a look at some of this reigning Cy Young winner stuff. 12-6 curveball drops off the table to get Devin Mesoraco.
Wow.
And big swing, bigger miss from Adam Duvall. 9 innings, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, which kept him from perfection, but a 16-0 win nonetheless for the Cubbies. Braden Neff trying to go to the air. Finds Jacob Figgins on the other team, intercepted. He would take it down to the Aces 40, setting up the Falcons' triple threat backfield attack. Here's name number 1, Nick Schultz, 29 yards for 6. 6-0 Falcons. After that score, they would miss the extra point, but it wouldn't matter as the Falcons would get the ball back. Here's name number 2 of that triple threat backfield, Will Young. 53 yards down the left hash mark. That would put the Falcons up 13-0. They would combine for 280 yards rushing on the night, but the Aces weren't out of it yet. Jordan Leisure, Gridiron Glory Player of the Year candidate for good reason. 64 yards down the outside to the end zone would bring the Aces within a score. And guess what? Jackson's going to answer right back. Hunter Sexton, Austin Leach, 43 yards, touchdown Jackson, 14-7 Ironman early in the second quarter. But here we go again. Ironton, the Fighting Tigers, they're going to answer right back. D'Angelo Palladino, 80 yards to the house. Adios. He is gone. That would be his only score on the night, but he would finish with 145 yards on 14 carries. And get this, Nathan, it is the first time Jackson has beaten the Ironton Fighting Tigers 3 times in a row since 1910-1911.
You can tell you got hand-eye coordination because you're moving well with the hands. The feet, it's a little slow sometimes getting there.
Just like my tennis coach always said, I was always slow with my feet. I guess that means it's coming.
Now I can crank it up, is that what you're saying?
But the Fighting Tigers would get a little risky on their next play. Tristan Cox drops back, heaves up a prayer, but it would be intercepted by guess who? Derek Rafferty. As you can see, here comes Dejon Bedgood again. 53 yards around the edge. He's even got an offensive lineman to run down the field with him, because why not? 27-6 Belpre in the first half. They would go on to take it 44-6 final as they rolled.
And at number 2, Savannah Jo Dorsey, the name you keep hearing. She is well on her way to a MAC Player of the Year title. Leads the NCAA in strikeouts with 277. That's 30 more than anybody else in the nation.
At number 1, what else? The Ohio volleyball team taking home the MAC title.
25-7 in the regular season, only lost 1 set in the MAC tournament. What a year for Dean Webb and the Cats.
Special teams had some tricks up their sleeve.
Oh, trickery indeed, Justin. It might even be an understatement. The Pirates head coach Rob Woodward were looking to put the game away as quickly as they could. They followed up both of their touchdowns with onside kicks. Even though they weren't able to recover either, Zane Trace couldn't make the Pirates pay for the advantageous field position. Well, let's first take a quick flashback to 1996 when these two met up in a very similar scenario, but DeSales snuck out with a victory. Now back to tonight where the Ironmen were looking for another shot at making history of their own. And what better way to do that than behind a Gridiron Glory Player of the Year candidate? But that's as far as the Pioneers would get. A couple plays later, Austin Harris dropping back, looking, finds Clint Hatfield sacked, loss of 6 for the Pioneers, and 2 plays later, it would go from bad to worse. Austin Harris can't handle the snap, chooses just to fall on it and eat it. That would force the Pioneers to kick a 52-yard field goal. They did have the distance, but it was wide left.
The top seed in the Eastern Conference gets another shot to impress its fan base. The Cavaliers host the Houston Rockets, but will be without star LeBron James.